Hi everyone, welcome to the live. I'm sorry I'm 3 minutes late. Today, for the first time, we are doing the live from my clinic instead of doing it from home. And this is the first time since the lockdown that I'm in the clinic without the mask and the full PPE. But before I start my patients after the live, don't worry, we'll be back in full gear waiting for you. So today is a very special live again because while all the time we talk about medication and all the treatments that we can offer you for glowing skin and lovely hair, today we are going to talk about something more internal, nutrition, and that's so important. And joining me today is a very special person, Monisha, and she truly believes in holistic nutrition. So while we wait for some more people to come along and Monisha to join us, let me tell you a little bit about your skin. So it's lovely to see you all too. Thank you so much for joining. So what's very important in this is that I've said this before and I say it again. Our skin is nothing but a mirror of what's going on inside our body. It actually is something which shows us that how all our other organs are functioning. So take for example the mind. If you're depressed or if you're going through any kind of anxiety, you might get a lot of itching. That itching could be psychosomatic. But because you scratch yourself so much, you develop a condition called as lichen simplex chronicus. The skin keeps getting darker, it keeps getting pigmented, and then it's a vicious cycle. That's the mind. The liver, if your liver is not working, if you're diabetic, there can be more bilirubin produced, and because of the bile leaking into your skin, you can have a lot of itching and lots of other issues, like the diabetic foot happens to patients with diabetes. Besides that, the lungs, if your lungs are not acting properly, if you're an asthmatic, so many times we see kids with childhood asthma who also have eczema, who are in the atopic triad, or even those who never had skin issues, but then when their asthma starts going by around puberty, all of a sudden you'll find them getting eczema, going into psoriasis, and the works. Today we are here to discuss gut, the skin and the gut. And will you believe me that the gut is responsible for 70% of the body's immunity? Yes, so what we put into our body is so important about what shows on our skin. I'm just going to see if Monisha has joined us, then I'll just add her on. Yes, so I think Monisha has joined us. Just waiting for her to send me a request so I can add her on. Monisha, please send me a request here so I could just add you. Sorry, there's a little issue in adding her. I'm just working on it. Monisha, I just need you to send me a request to add you on so that I can make you join this live. Until we are, yeah, that's it. So she's sent it. Just adding her on. It's connecting.
Okay, hi.
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Very well. How's it going?
Great. I'm sorry we're having a little issue in adding you on.
No problem. I think
So
I have.
welcome, Monisha. I was just telling them a little bit about the skin and how it's so dependent on all the organs of the body and how what we see outside is actually what's going on inside our body. and we just had reached the gut and how important our diet actually is in all skin types, all skin conditions, and how it plays such an important role, in everything else that I can do for my patients. It starts at home. It starts by what they ingest.
That's
Would you
true.
like to
That's
say something?
absolutely true. As many as ointments or treatments you're doing, until your diet is not clean enough, it's not going to work. So it's very
Absolutely.
important to begin at home, to begin taking a healthy, nutritious diet, have all your nutrients in the right balance. That's when everything starts to fall in place, and your treatments also, your treatment plans that you may be giving them will work much better once the diets are taken care of.
Absolutely, and we know the gut. I was just telling them that 70% of the body's immunity comes from the gut,
From the gut,
and
that's right.
there's a microflora there consisting of bacteria, there's viruses, there's fungi, and they're good and they're bad. So if we eat junk food and we feed the bad bacteria and the bad flora, it's going to create that kind of an immune response. And if we eat well, if we eat healthy, we'll be feeding the good bacteria and the good flora. Same way, if the good flora flourish in the gut, that will be the same effect it will have on our skin. And our
That's
skin is the barrier which is going to also, like the gut, stop allergens, pathogens from entering our body. So
yeah.
what we eat is so important, and as we are growing older, it becomes more and more important that we look into our diet.
That's true, because I believe after 30 your body also stops producing collagen. So your
Absolutely.
skin starts beginning to get looser. So if your diet is taken care of, and along with regular visits to the dermatologist, both together will do great wonders to your skin. And everybody wants that glowing skin, which is
Absolutely,
nothing
and I
short.
really believe in holistic. Everything should be holistic. We can't just treat one thing and ignore everything else, because if we just treat the skin from outside, it's going to work for a short time. When actually, if we work together in healing the skin right from inside, it's going to last. The glow, everything we do, as you said, is going to have more effect, and it's
That's
going to have a much more longer lasting thing than just a temporary. We do a treatment, we look good for a
yeah,
week.
yeah,
That's not what we want.
yeah. It's like a
So.
crash ride then if you.
Yes, absolutely. So what I was saying is that there are skin types are different. Some people have a dry skin. Some people have an oily skin. Some people have a normal skin. Do you think a different diet for these different skin types would help to bring it more to equilibrium, more
To
towards a
an
normal skin?
extent, yes. So see, when people have extremely dry skin, if it's post-menopausal, that dry skin is usually because of low levels of estrogen post-menopause. But before that, if you're getting too much of dry skin, it probably is a sign that your diet is lacking fat or good fat. A lot of us,
All right. So
yeah, a lot of us tend to go on a diet for weight loss in which we try to reduce the oil consumption or the fat consumption in our diet, which reflects on the skin. So, including good fats like fatty fish. So, salmon, the Indian salmon is called ravas, the Indian mackerel is called surmai. Including these fish in your diet. If you're a vegetarian, you can include flaxseed, avocados, nuts, your sunflower, pumpkin seed, anything which is good in fat, even ghee and cold pressed coconut oil, when included in the diet, is great for uh, preventing dry skin.
so even a person who's trying to lose
And
weight,
when
we
the skin
recommend them to continue with this. Continue with the good fats.
yeah, definitely your quantities and portions should be right. I mean, when I say eat it, you don't have to go crazy eating, but it should be part of your diet. You should not avoid them completely because they even aid in fat loss. So
Absolutely,
it's
yeah.
going to be both ways. It's going to help you both ways.
No,
And
and it's so
coming to
important
oily
not to,
skin,
these fad diets nowadays, and the patients just lose so much weight and they start looking older because the
yeah,
skin starts sagging, and
the
you lose
skin
some of the
starts at,
important nutrients are gone from your diet because you think
yeah.
that you just cut
There's
out the
no
carbs
balance.
completely, and everything
There's
is
no
important.
balance in the diet. So
Yeah,
then, even lack of protein, collagen is protein. So your skin starts sagging, looking loose, dull. So, fat diets are a complete no-no. Also, for oily skin, you need to make sure you're you have hormones in a proper balance, and to balance hormones, you should include a lot of foods like flax seeds are great. Even you get these seeds called garden cress seeds,
Okay.
which is called halim in Hindi. They are
Yeah.
a great source of iron, but besides that, they help regulating your hormones. There's always an imbalance in estrogen, progesterone, and all your other hormones for women when, and that's one of the causes of extremely oily skin. So
All
once they
right.
are balanced well, you can use these seeds as you can add them to your milk or make a lassi of them and have them say 1 tablespoon every day to begin with, you see a major difference. It's like a natural beauty pill.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
this is for the oily skin, right? To try and
Yeah.
bring it back to
Yeah.
more or less normal skin.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, one more skin type which sometimes we don't consider is the dehydrated skin. So that
Right.
is very different from the dry skin, because in the dry
Yeah.
skin you're lacking oil and you're lacking the moisture, the water content. And but in the dehydrated skin, the oil glands are working well, the sebaceous glands are functioning, the sebum is enough. But what the issue is that because the water is less, because the skin doesn't have the hydration, we are not able to trap the oils into the skin. We are not
Right.
able to hold. There's no moisture to hold the oils back. This skin is not inherited, and it is not a skin type. So it is easier to treat this with hydration. So in the clinic, we do a lot of things. We do hyaluronic acid, we do hydrofacials, we do mesotherapy, we even inject, we do whole light to make the face look more hydrated.
Right.
But besides that, in food and also water, how much water do you think a person, like a woman of our age or a man post 30, should be consuming on a daily basis?
So water consumption on a daily basis should be ranges anywhere between 0.5 to 3.5 to 4 liters. But every body is different, and you're right. As if you don't have enough water in your body, your high hyaluronic acid is a molecule that holds the water in you. So if there's no
True.
water in your body, what will it hold?
Exactly.
So when you anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 to 4 liters is good. And you need to, how you judge how much water is correct for you depends on the color of your urine. You really
Okay.
need to check, like you need to watch. So it should be pale yellow in color or very light yellow. It should not be dark, your urine. If your urine is dark, that is a sign that you're lacking water. So you will judge for yourself how much water is required by your body. And another thing with water is if you have 2.5 liters of water, you wake up and you have one bottle of 1 liter, and at the end of the day you have the other 1.5, is not what's going to work.
Okay,
You
so it has to
need
be throughout
to
the day.
you need to know how to drink the water. There is an art of drinking water. You have to have small sips at a time, let it mix with your saliva, and then have the water. So always have a bottle next to you and take small sips at a time and sip it throughout the day. And that's how you complete your 2.5 liters of water.
That's superb. So, just something about water which I'll also put in. I'm not much of a water drinker, but I have now started drinking water because I realize it's so important for my skin, my hair. So, it really helps if you infuse the water. If you're not able to have plain water in large quantities, like 2.5 liters is a lot of water. It's like two big 1 liter bottles and another half.
Yeah,
So,
it
if
takes
you're
you time
not,
to get to
yeah,
that.
if you think about it, if you're not used to it, it is a lot. So if you infuse it with something, like maybe pudina and black salt or
Or
suva
like a
and
citrus fruit or something.
citrus fruits, whatever you like, I feel it becomes a little easier because there's some flavor to it. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
doesn't feel like you're just drinking water.
A
And
lot of people have an aversion to the taste of water also, so it's always good to infuse
yeah,
it,
I mean,
you
because
can
I
infuse it
think
with herbs.
we've been told so many times to drink the water that it becomes a conditioned reflex to not want to drink it. So if there's some kind of flavor, you can trick your brain into thinking that it's okay.
Definitely, definitely,
And one
yeah.
sunnat we follow in us. So what we do is we never have one sip of water. It's always three sips. We always sit and drink water because it goes directly in a better way
Yeah.
to the gut. Never stand and drink water, and always we have three sips, and then we stand up. So and we always check our water. So we follow this. It's a religious thing for us, but it's a good thing for everybody to follow
Right.
because three sips, as Monisha rightly mentioned, is a good amount to have at a time. And also sitting and drinking water is a good thing.
Oh, so that is a religious Islamic practice.
Yeah, it is. It is. So for
Okay.
us, we do it for that.
That's
But
very
even
interesting.
health-wise, it's an amazing thing. So it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
It
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
So that's one of the things about water. Now another thing, anti-aging. So that is so big nowadays. People are starting anti-aging right from their 20s now, because
Right.
with our lifestyle, we are aging much faster than our parents or our grandparents. So how our parents must have been at our age, I think we are aging quicker than them. The hair is turning whiter, premature graying is happening earlier, skin is sagging, the fine lines, wrinkles, the pigmentation, everything is coming up much earlier. So it's not necessarily that our parents had a great skincare regime, but they definitely had a better diet than us. Our grandparents had an even better diet. Right from childhood, they would have everything. They would have a little ghee in their shira, they would have almonds, and they were not depriving themselves. In today's time, we have created so many fads and we are oversimplifying things so much that I feel we are letting go of so many nutritious things.
So many
Like
of
dairy has
the
become so controversial.
Yeah, like so much of the olden, the wisdom that was there in the previous years is lost now. So many of the
Absolutely.
foods you don't get anymore because, like, if you look at corn is in season now. You don't get the white corn anymore because it's only the genetically modified corn that's
Absolutely. We've replaced everything good with something like just aping the West. And I mean, oats, for example. Oats are not available, grown locally, but still everybody wants to have the oats over
yeah, yeah,
anything that we get naturally here, like naturally or
that's
something.
true.
People prefer the things that are not available here.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's a
that's what we were
fad.
talking about anti-aging. So
Yeah.
is there any way now? See, most of the people who will be in our life will be 20 plus. So we can't go back to childhood and correct it. But could you give some tips about what can be done now, like post 20, post 30, and also what we can do for our children right from the beginning so that they have a good diet which can reflect on their skin, on their hair right from the beginning, and anti-aging can start right in the beginning. And even now, what can we do now?
So what you can do now is you always need to make sure there is adequate amount of protein in our diets because protein is required for absorption of all your nutrients. So adequate amount of protein could be in the form of meat, fish, dairy, and for vegetarians and vegan, lentils are always a source of protein. You can use nut milk, chia seeds. All these are great sources of protein, which should be part of your regular routine. Especially for vegetarians or more than that, vegans, dairy products are a great source of complete protein. But for vegans, you need to make sure you have a combination of a lentil protein and rice or wheat, like a cereal and lentil combination to give you a complete protein profile. Because
Right.
when you're eating just bowls and bowls of dal or sprout, it's not sprout is okay, but if it's unsprouted, it's not giving you complete. It's not giving you a complete protein profile. It's lacking in a couple of amino acids. So when you
True.
combine that with a cereal, it's a great source of protein. So protein is the base. Also, for anti-aging, antioxidants in the skin are great because they prevent your skin from looking dull and sagging. So antioxidants come from vitamins A, C, and E.
Right.
Heavy antioxidant vitamins. So vitamin
So can you
A,
mention some foods, yeah, which would be
yeah.
rich in this? Yeah.
So vitamin A is like for it has two parts. One is retinol and beta carotene. Retinol sources are your milk and meat products, but for the beta carotene, any yellow green fruit and vegetables like papaya, mango, all of pumpkin, they are great sources of beta carotene. For C, you need citrus fruits. Amla is great source. So whenever amla is in season, I recommend everybody to have like a little bit of amla juice or make a pickle of the amla. Or even those sweetened amla candies, just make them and store
Absolutely.
them for the
I'm a
rest
big
of the year.
fan of amla. We give our patients the amla powder to mix with honey and
Right.
have it for their hair. But of course, if they like the amla, I love it. So
Yeah,
I
you
like to
can
eat it
have it.
even raw with little salt on it.
Salt
But
and
if
sugar.
everybody doesn't have the taste, they can just take it even like a medicine. But naturally would be superb.
Yeah. And for vitamin E, almond is one of the great sources of vitamin E. So nuts should be included in the diet. So when all of this is always part of your diet in the right proportion, it helps with anti-aging. Also, as we mentioned about collagen post 30 is needed because your body stops producing it. If you start taking it earlier is also okay. There's a lot of collagen supplements available in the market which you, I'm sure, must be prescribing.
So
But
I would love to ask you something about that. The collagen, all of us dermatologists are now thinking that instead of spending so much money on getting those collagen powders, collagen is nothing but a family of proteins which is,
that's
basically forming the structure of skin. And like you said, the rate at which the collagen is produced is going down, and the collagen destruction is rapidly increasing post 30. Are there foods which will have, the collagen rich foods? Can they substitute the collagen powders completely, or do you think that both should happen? And what are the foods that you would
so
recommend?
the foods that
Collagen
you
rich.
recommend, if you look at the supplements, they're mostly animal protein based.
Yes.
There's marine collagen, there's bovine collagen. So the seafood is a great source of collagen. So is beef and chicken. So that will provide you the base, which is the protein, and also along with that, certain functional foods like spirulina, which is the
Yes.
blue green algae found. You get spirulina in powdered form. The spirulina is a great source along with the protein, which will help with collagen production in the body. Citrus fruits along with the protein. Animal
Right. And what
protein
about the
obviously.
vegans and the vegetarians instead
So
of the
for the
meat?
vegans, you again take a protein source, which could be your dal and rice combination or any complete protein, and combine that, like add spirulina to your diet in the day, add citrus fruits. Turmeric is great for boosting collagen production along with the complete protein. So you
Do you
can
think
use
it's
turmeric.
enough, or do you think that we should also prescribe the collagen
See,
powder?
it really depends from person to person. For non-vegetarians, I think it's okay.
All right.
But for the vegans, sometimes you need a protein supplement, like a vegan protein supplement, which is
Yeah,
rice
so
and
there are
peas.
many vegan ones available too now.
Yeah,
Of course, I'm
usually,
sure the efficacy is lesser than the animal protein, but
definitely. But
but it's okay. It's a choice, so it's fine
so,
as long as we are able to substitute it.
see, the quantities you need is not enough in diet because eating that much is humanly impossible. The supplements are more concentrated. So sometimes in a diet, you do need supplements, and there's nothing wrong in taking supplements, I feel.
True, absolutely.
If you're
So we give
taking
a
it
lot
in
of
a
supplements. It's just that collagen has become a little like debatable because people feel like it's just a money making thing which has come in and
yeah,
food
if
is
it's
enough.
required, if your diet is serving the purpose, then I don't think, like, people
Right.
are
The
just taking
weighting
it
trend
for
is
an
so
added
high
benefit.
that I
It's
think
become
maybe
like a trend, right?
yeah, so it's maybe needed now because all the other proteins have stopped, So because of that, maybe we can add on at least for them.
Yeah, maybe not like an everyday thing. Maybe substituted with diet for a few days, 3 days a week you take collagen and
Right. Right.
balance it out. So then you do need the supplements because if you try to rely on food, your entire day's caloric quantities go up very high.
Right. Absolutely.
So
So
it
there
is
are a
a
lot of questions, but before that, we just cover two topics very quickly, and then in 5 minutes, we'll just start with the questions.
sure.
So acne is another very big thing, and my every second patient comes in with oily skin, acne, and most of the girls today are so plagued by the PCOS or the PCOD. In fact, I'm planning to do another session solely on that because it's a big problem. Not only can it later on lead to infertility and painful periods and all
Yeah,
that,
that's
but
yeah.
it creates a havoc. There's facial hair, there's a thickening, hoarsening of the voice, there's weight gain, there are skin tags, there's a dirty neck or the
I
acanthosis
can
nigricans,
yeah.
what we call. And basically, the patient is very troubled, the self confidence is going down. They are not able to lose weight as easily as a person without the hormonal problems of the PCOS. So even if they're trying harder, they're actually not losing enough, and then it's
Yeah.
a vicious cycle. So could you tell us something about the diet for these patients? Either very briefly because it's a huge topic,
Yeah.
but something about PCOS and also for the acne prone skin. What about dairy? What about oily foods? Should we stop all this?
So see, I have seen a lot of correlation between dairy and PCOS and acne. Acne does have a correlation with dairy because a lot of the dairy we are consuming is injected with hormones which are creating a havoc in the female body.
Right.
So if you're consuming organic dairy, A2 dairy, if you know that the source is correct, it's fine. But I don't use stopping dairy as a first line of treatment for acne. Like as the first line of, like, we first try to correct the PCOS, balance the hormones through a balanced diet. One thing, make sure all the nutrients are in the right place: zinc, magnesium, vitamin C, all of that should be through the diet sources. And also strength training plays a great role in balancing the hormones.
All right.
It releases the endorphins, which in turn decrease your cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone, right? So that's when your testosterone goes down, and your facial hair and acne, which are mainly caused by high levels of testosterone, get corrected.
Hyperandrogenism. Yes. Yes.
So that is, and also testosterone lowering foods like peppermint tea is great, and it's shown a lot of benefit in lowering testosterone levels. And also, mulethi, which is licorice root. We've been having mulethi since years. Now it's come as licorice root. So that is also great. You can add it to your tea or however you like it. It really helps in lowering testosterone levels. So correcting all of this will help in balancing your hormones. Once you change your lifestyle, you have a routinely eating pattern, and you're doing strength training along with cardio exercises. If after that the acne is still not subsiding, that's when I ask them first to stop whole dairy,
Okay.
which is whole milk, and paneer and dahi, because the lactose becomes lactic acid when you ferment it, right? So
Yes.
that initially I let the dahi and the paneer be on,
It's
and
difficult to
after,
just stop dairy for someone who
yeah,
is
because
fond of it.
our
Yeah.
Indian diet, especially for vegetarians, that's the only source of protein.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And a lot of people are skeptical taking supplements. So I always do it step by step, because I don't generalize it that stop dairy if you have acne. Because it's a controversy, and it happens in some people and in some people it doesn't. Dairy causing
True.
acne.
True.
So I
What
believe that
about
we should
refined
not.
sugar? What are your views on refined sugar increasing the symptoms and the severity of PCOD?
See, if it's like, if your diet majorly comprises of refined sugar, if there's a lot of baking products and cakes and pastries, definitely I would say avoid it. But if someone's having it once in a way,
Or in a
I
cup
think,
of tea? Yeah.
like once in a way, one biscuit in a day, like a Mari biscuit, is fine. Or if it's occasionally had, I would not stop that, because when you completely ask someone to stop refined sugar, they're gonna have cakes made of jaggery and all the other kinds of sugar. And it's psychological. You feel that if you're eating, oh, this cake is healthy, it's made of jaggery, you tend to eat
So you
more
eat
of it.
more. Yeah.
So I always feel that be a little liberal, eat it once in a way, but don't go
I'm
crazy
totally
that
with
you're
you. Yes.
completely avoid it.
Absolutely. So
Because that,
that's what when I first went through your page also, what I loved is that there was no extremism in anything. Even like in your milk, you're like you do elimination and then you take a call, because for people who are already following a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet, it's very easy for them to say cut out the milk, cut out the refined sugar, no gluten. But for people who've had this all their life, if you suddenly take away everything, it's going to increase the depression which comes along with the disease,
and
and it's
that's
also going
again
to, and it's going to you're
aggravated,
going to
right?
last only this long, and then you're
Yeah.
going to go into a rebound where you're going to do everything wrong, like because you're going to be like it's not working, I don't care, and then it's going to go back. So just a little bit understanding the patient is so important.
Also with acne, it's a lot to do with the mind. So if
Absolutely.
you're depriving the patient of things, the stress levels go high, and that again will have an effect on the acne itself.
Definitely. It's
So
all about the mind because it creates
yeah,
depression, in
yeah,
patients, especially the ones who are suffering from grade 4 acne. And it's just not healing. The whole look, the entire, stress that goes along with it. On top of that, you're not letting them eat or drink anything they like. It's
yeah.
just going to worsen the situation.
That's why I also recommend for acne sometimes to do some amount of pranayam or meditation, even if it
Yes.
calls for 10 minutes in a day to begin
Just
with, that's
something to
good enough.
balance your equilibrium and,
Yeah, like
calm
5
down.
minutes
Yeah.
before bed, 5 minutes when you wake up. See, if you tell someone your our age to go and meditate, they'll be like, "What is wrong with you?" But 5 minutes also makes a
Absolutely, it does. Okay, so just one
yeah,
thing before, because there are lots of questions. So just one last thing is about the hair,
yeah,
which is also extremely important, because while some people are blessed with good skin and some people are blessed with good hair, but because of the humidity level that we have in Bombay today, even those of us who've had good hair from childhood suddenly are noticing a lot of frizz. There's a lot of hair fall, and our diets are really we're just to survive. It's we're
yeah,
hardly eating great food. Yeah, especially now in the lockdown with all our new cooking skills, it's really gone bad.
yeah.
So, what would you suggest? Some good, maybe 4 or 5 superfoods which are easily, sourceable and which are easily makeable, which are very good for hair growth and hair strength and the hair looking less frizzy.
Okay, so along with protein, as I mentioned, your hair is made up of keratin, which is protein by itself. So protein needs to be there in the right amounts in your diet. So anywhere between 1 gram to 1.5 grams of protein per kg is required. So you need to make sure that there is a complete protein in your 3 main meals for sure. That is your
Right.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which could be, as I mentioned, dairy sources, animal protein, eggs, and lentil and dal combination. So protein is replaceable. Along with that, sometimes there is a lot of hair fall due to iron deficiency. So
True.
iron, we include foods rich in iron. So iron, again, there's a lot of iron present in your meat and meat products, but the lack of iron comes when you're vegetarian. So some foods like black raisins are a great source of iron. You soak them overnight and have it first thing in the morning. Really helps improving hair quality and preventing hair fall. Garden cress seeds, as I mentioned, are like one of the richest source of iron. That is more like a superfood. So taking that, maybe add a tablespoon of it in your milk and have it at bedtime is great for your hair. So iron and protein are great sources, are very important for your hair, and zinc, which comes from nuts and oil seeds again. So when you have all of these in balance in your diet, you'll see that your hair is more manageable. And I even feel sometimes home remedies of application of masks to your hair with foods really helps. So like there's this mask I try which has yogurt, which is dahi, banana, and some curry leaves. That
Yeah.
really makes your hair very manageable. So that's not like a treatment, but once in a way before washing
True,
your
of
hair.
course, why not? We put methi seeds, curry leaves. Now everybody's saying turmeric also works well. When we were kids, that
Yeah.
time they used to not allow us to put haldi anywhere near the eyebrows or the hair, because there was a belief that it would cause the hair to fall. But now
Also
more
to
research
apply
has shown.
turmeric on the hair as well.
Yes, so nowadays, now the recent researchers have shown that
Okay.
turmeric in the oil or turmeric in the hair packs are good for the hair. It's
Right.
going to work as it's going to work in favor, not
Yeah.
against. So even a little bit of maybe turmeric can be added to
Turmeric
the
has
hair.
emerged as a complete superfood suddenly, right?
Yeah. So you know what they our grandparents and all used to do normally, like tadka kiya, so they would put everything. Now it's
Yeah.
all coming back as
Yeah.
superfoods. You're going to pay so much money to get the organic version
Yeah.
of the same thing that they've been in
That's
our kitchens from ever. Yeah. So go back to your kitchen. I think go back to your roots. Do
true.
what your grandparents were doing. Eat. Please eat. The starvation is one of the main causes why all these skin and hair problems are happening.
Definitely. Low the
People are
calorie
going on these
deficit is
diets. They're getting joint pains. They're getting hair fall. They're
for
cutting
sure.
out everything. I think we'll have to live on air soon, because the meat is gone, the dairy is gone, the gluten is gone, the sugars
That's
are gone. We've got very little left to
that's why it's
eat.
always about balance because you keep avoiding things, you see how much the skin, the
Absolutely.
hair starts suffering.
True, true. So let's open up to questions now. I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
see. Yeah. Hello to everyone who's joined. So sorry we had to make your wait to answer your question. And thank you for all the compliments for all of us. So somebody's asked me that what are the best glutathione injections. So it's not about the best glutathione injections. You need to understand what are you taking the glutathione for. What is it that you want? Because glutathione is, again, it's a super ingredient. It's an antioxidant. I just mentioned in my last live that skin brightening, what glutathione is now being used so much for, is just one of the things that it does. It does so much. It's the liver's best friend. It helps in the kidneys functioning. It improves your sleep. So it depends what you're taking your glutathione for. If basically you feel that your pigmentation is gone, you've got pigmentation, your skin is looking grey, there's no glow, there are a lot of oral supplements available for glutathione. The face kit that we are preparing from Elegance, we are putting a glutathione spray in that. So you just need 12 sprays a day. It has a vitamin C in it. Vitamin C increases the efficacy of glutathione because it fights some of the free radicals. It gives glutathione more time to do other stuff. And it also converts the glutathione back into the active form from the oxidized state. So injections, the IV glutathione is only in extreme cases, and I would not recommend it unless recommended by your dermatologist after checking you.
Right.
Are there any foods where glutathione is, found, which you would suggest?
I think your antioxidant vitamins are good in antioxidant rich foods, like I mentioned, vitamin A, C, and E rich foods, citrus fruits, papaya, yellow, green fruit and vegetables, papaya, pumpkin. Pumpkin is great source of glutathione. And lemon, oranges, all of them are great sources of glutathione.
Perfect.
That
So
will give
there's a
it
question
will serve
for
the
you.
same purpose as glutathione, brightening of skin, giving the
Sorry,
skin.
what? The vitamin C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vitamin C rich food.
It's an excellent thing. It's so good for the immunity also at this time
Yeah.
from the corona times.
It's the
We've been
need of
having
the
a
hour.
lot of vitamin C. We've upped it a lot. So,
Yeah.
Deep, somebody's asked 3 essentials in your diet for good skin. What are the 3 things that you need in your diet?
I think protein rich foods and citrus fruits or like vitamin C rich foods, amla, lemon, oranges. All of these sprouts also are a great source of vitamin C, and including good amount of nuts in your diet, at least 15 to 20 grams of nuts per day. It could be any nuts that you like. It could be even ground nuts. It could be almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, macadamia nuts, any nuts, protein and fruits, citrus fruits.
So, ground nuts you feel work equally as well as the others?
They may have a little less source of vitamin E, but they are great in monounsaturated fatty acids, which again has shown a lot of benefit with skin and dry skin and things like that. But
So, because
sometimes
they're much cheaper,
that is why
so everybody
I
can access them very easily. So, that's a
which
good
is
thing to know.
why
That that's
it serves the same purpose. It's like some people don't
super.
have access to it, so
Right, right. So somebody's also okay. I wanted to ask you one question about the badams or the almonds. Do you think it has equal if we remove the skin and if we let the skin be? Is it equally effective?
soaking it is
Should
very
we
good.
peel off the almonds or should we have them with the cover?
I think with the cover, but soaked. I always
Soak. So you
believe
soak
that
it
you
overnight,
should,
but you don't peel it off. Then.
yeah,
Okay,
at
soaking is
least
important.
4 to 6 hours minimum. It should be soaked because they have phytic acid, which hinders the absorption of other nutrients. So when you soak it, the phytic acid is destroyed. So
Super.
eating it soaked is the best way.
But the skin also has nutrients. It shouldn't be
On,
removed.
yeah.
Somebody's asked, is it okay to eat raw sprouts?
I don't think they're edible because raw sprouts are quite. They have that rawy taste. But if you can manage to eat them, there's no problem because it's not going to cause you any bloating or anything because when it's sprouted, it's already sort of fermented, so it won't be raw. It's fine. Or you just like at the most you just blanch it, like boil water, put it in it for like 30 seconds and get it out. That would be
Right.
better because some people get a lot of belching and gas with raw sprouts. So it's better if it's slightly cooked.
Yeah, just sauteed maybe, if
Yeah.
not, yeah,
Yeah.
overcooked. Okay. So, one of our favorites, I happened in Dubai, is asking how, how much protein in one egg?
One egg, so it's 6 grams of protein in an egg. 3 grams is the white, 3 grams is the yellow.
So for
So
children, how much do you suggest? How many eggs do you think is
I
good
think
for a
one
child?
egg is good, like one whole egg. Don't ever
Just
get
one
rid
egg.
of the yolk.
Oh
One
no.
egg, depending on their age, up till 5 years, 4 to 5 years, one egg with toast is good enough. Then post that, 2 eggs is also okay. But
And
beyond
what
two
about
eggs,
older people? For older people, because of the cholesterol, that is, some people say if you have
see, you
high
should have
cholesterol.
one yolk a day for sure. Like if you're a regular egg eater, don't get rid of the yolk at all, because all your D vitamin, your retinol is all in the yolk, and if you're letting it go, then you're losing out
So
on
the
a lot
egg
of.
whites is again just a fad, in which they're just
It is
having
a
egg
fad.
whites
I
on
mean,
it.
I'm not saying if you're having 4 eggs, have all the 4 yolks. Have one to
But
two
some,
yolks,
one or two at least.
and the remaining can be whites if you
And
need
the
more.
yolks
But
are the nicest part. So when I see
yeah,
someone eating an egg white omelette, I feel sad for
yeah.
them.
But the
Because
thing
I mean,
is,
you're just throwing out the best part.
if you're having the egg with the yolk, one egg or max two will be more than enough for you. If you're
We
having the
have a
whites,
lot of
then you
eggs, so
need
yeah,
maybe
that's
like
good.
4, 5, 6 whites, because it's not going to fill you. The yolk
Yeah,
is the fat in
you
the
need
egg.
the yolk. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the heart of the egg.
Yeah.
So somebody's asked, what can you apply for dark circles? So as I always say, dark circles are multifactorial. So there are a lot of reasons why you could be having dark circles. It could be genetic, it could be hereditary, it could be because you're not sleeping well, it could be because of fatigue, it could be because of overuse of the eyes, because you're using the computer the entire day, you're watching television, you're on your phone. It could be because you're scratching the eyes unknowingly. You might be having dry eyes and you might be rubbing your eyes, breaking the capillaries around the eyes, because of which all the clots collect right below and give a grayish pigmentation. You could be having deep set eyes, because of which you feel you have dark circles, but they actually just sunken in and giving you the tired look. It could be pigmentation because you've not used your sunscreen and that skin is thinner, so it's pigmented faster than the rest of your skin. It could be also because of nutrition. So maybe Monisha will throw some light on that. But there are so many things. So we need to first figure out the cause of your dark circles. And then if it is just plain pigmentation, we would treat it with a vitamin C. We can also treat it with the vitamin E and coffee oils. Coffee oils work extremely well for under eyes. Besides that, if it is just due to rubbing the eyes, we give a vitamin K component along with it. And what is really important when you're treating the under eyes is the way you're applying it. So you need to massage it out. You need to massage the entire area out. I've shown you all in the one of the previous videos if you all go to my YouTube channel or check on Insta. So you just need to massage it circularly outwards. Then you need to pump and glide. So just pump and glide. And last is little pinches. You even do it in the upper eye. So entire area around the eye, whatever cream you're using. So in our kit, we've put a roller which has got coffee oils, it's got vitamin E, avocado oils, everything with a roller. So if you keep it in the fridge and then you roll it, it causes cooling, so there won't be any puffiness around your eyes, as well as it will move out all the clots and the broken capillaries, whatever it's left out. So it works in multiple ways. This is what we tell you to do at home. There are a lot of treatments in which we do peels, and we can even do some of the lasers with a guard for your under eyes. For nutrition, if nutrition has caused the dark circles, Monisha, is there any way we can prevent that? Like again, maybe we can supplement it with the vitamins.
Vitamin C and even vitamin E, so your nuts and oil seeds. So basically, you have to include them in your daily routine, because everything that is with skin revolves around these nutrients, which should be in the right amounts. Also, for hair, we missed out on biotin.
Yes, absolutely.
So
So
eggs
we
are a
give a
great
10 mg
source.
supplement generally, but please tell us about foods that are rich in it. How can
Yeah,
we
so
supplement it
eggs are a
without the
great
milk?
source of biotin, one of the best sources. But do you agree that very high doses of biotin supplements causes acne breakouts? That
No,
5,000.
I've not really noticed that, but yes, it does cause a little weight gain. So
Okay.
if you take more than 10 mg, or you maybe take 2 tablets a day, or you are prone to putting on weight. Everybody has a body type.
Right, right.
Some of us are genetically slimmer, but some people have a tendency of putting on weight. Then you need to be very careful. You need to monitor it, and after 3 months, we tell you to just go down on it for a bit and then restart it. so they don't end up putting on weight. You know, you're trying to correct one issue, you don't want to create or cause another problem. But acne, I've not really seen a correlation. Have you noticed it?
I have noticed, but that is like 5,000 milligrams, 5,000
Yeah.
micrograms.
So generally, I give a 10 mg biotin. That's it,
Yeah.
because more than that, it's going to make you put on weight. And what happens is that, you know, while it's activating, it's going to work. Maybe it will, you know, also stimulate the sebaceous glands, make your skin more oily,
If
and
it
that
is
could lead to
water.
acne in the long run
Yeah.
if it is taken in a very large dose. So 10 mg is more than enough. You don't want to take more than that because you don't want to put on weight as well, and that definitely can happen with a higher dose. Are you there, Mansha? I think her screen is stuck. Somebody's asked her the vegetarian sources of vitamin D. Let's see if there's any other skin question. We just need to re-add her. So I think she's just trying to come back. So I hope when she comes back, we'll just wind up with her the session for today. But I hope it was helpful for you all. It is very important for us to now not treat skin as just a separate thing or a thing of beauty. Our entire body's health is seen by our skin, and what we put into our gut is going to actually show up on our skin. So it's very important to summarize what we spoke today. Your protein content has to be high. If you are a non-vegetarian, you're more or less sorted, because she said that the protein content has to be in all three big meals of the day. So we have eggs for breakfast, then we have either chicken or fish or something for either lunch or dinner. For the vegetarians, if they are vegetarians or they eat egg as they say, so then again you can have an egg in the morning. You can have paneers, which are very good sources of protein. You can also have a lot of dals, the sprouts. She mentioned how you can consume sprouts. So please keep your protein content high because it's needed for your skin and for your hair. Um, just waiting. Can you please join back, Monisha? Yes, so that's for the vegans. She mentioned other ways to supplement this protein by legumes and dals, because they can't have even the paneers or the dairy products. But it's okay; it's a lifestyle choice. As long as it's making you feel nicer, your skin and hair is healthier. Just see that your protein content is good. Vitamin C is very important. So citrus fruits again is a good source. She mentioned taking nuts for vitamin E. Milk has a lot. Milk is a good source of calcium. It's a great source of vitamin D. For the vegetarians who are consuming dairy products, uh, if you are not consuming dairy products, then it's again you have to find different ways of supplementing all the things that you are missing. My one request to everybody is please eat well. Whatever diet you're going on, if you put on weight, the only way to lose weight is to eat less. So whatever you're eating, just eat lesser quantities of that. Don't go on a binge diet. Don't go on a diet and then go on a binge, because anything you do in excess is going to be bad for your body, for your skin, for your hair. If you cut down and have small portions of normal homemade food, that in most cases is enough. Yeah, she's back with us. Just a second, she'll join us. Just waiting on her. So this was just a little summary that I gave you. We'll let her join us and also summarize in her words what she feels could also help you out in the end. If you have any more questions also, my video will be saved. You could just leave it with us. We will get it answered by either me or her and in your comment section. She's just, maybe her connection is a little poor. So she's not able to join us. Thank you everybody for joining, and I hope it was really helpful. Unfortunately, I'm not being able to add her back. Monisha, if you're seeing it, please send me the request again. I had accepted, but it's not going through for some reason. Okay, we just have 6 minutes left, so if she's able to join us back, then it's excellent. Otherwise, I'd like to thank her for taking out this time and coming onto our page for our patients and our followers. And we hope we've answered most of your questions. If there are many of you who are suffering from PCOD, or you have any issue you would like us to do another session completely for that, focusing on that, please leave it in the comment section. We both will be happy to be here for you. And just one last, Monisha, just try please, if you can join, just to say bye. So Farah is asking that because of she's a doctor and a mother herself, so because of wearing these gloves and washing dishes and everything that she's been doing, her hands are getting really dry. So yes, that's an issue most of us are having. If it is possible for you, why don't you try to wear the hardware gloves when you're washing the vessels, the red ones? That will really reduce the effect of the detergent on your hands. Also, immediately post washing vessels or washing dishes or taking out the gloves, moisturize. Every time you use, try to use soap rather than a sterilizer or a sanitizer if you're at home. And keep a moisturizer ready. Moisturize your hands immediately when they're semi-damp. So that will trap the moisture in and won't allow your hands to feel that dry. In case they are fissuring or there are cuts, then of course a mild steroid, because you're a doctor I can tell you, otherwise others please consult me or any dermatologist before going in for it. A little steroid over the cuts will also help the hands to heal, and then you can maintain them with either, you can even use coconut oil or a little homemade ghee if you don't want to keep applying a moisturizer because you're going back to cooking. Even these home remedies will work very well to keep your hands soft. And do put a nice thick moisturizer before you go to bed. So unfortunately, yeah, Monisha is trying one more time, hoping for the best. Yeah, we have her back with us, yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, Monisha, only 4 minutes are left, so I'm so glad you managed to come back. Somebody just asked about vitamin D supplements for a vegetarian or a vegan. I tried to answer a bit, but we would want you to throw some light on it.
Supplements like foods rich in vitamin D?
For the vegetarians and the vegans.
Okay, so for the vegetarians and the vegans, I think supplement and sunlight is the only food source which is a good source of vitamin D is your egg yolks. But besides that, getting sunlight anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is great. So even half an hour between these hours is good to get your D3, and also making sure that you are having adequate amount of calcium in your diet. The calcium you can get from milk and milk products for vegetarians, and till is a great source for the vegans.
Till,
so,
great.
Till, both black and white till.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure about the vegan thing because we are hardcore non-vegetarians. But for our patients, we need to know everything. So till is great for me to learn also. So it's been really an educative session for all of us. I was just waiting for you for the vegan input.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me, sorry.
I'm saying till, along with getting adequate amount of sunlight in the day,
Sunlight. So please, that's an excellent suggestion, but don't forget your sunscreen when you're out in the sun.
Yeah.
Because 12 to 4 is the worst time for our skin, but the best time for our bones and also for the vitamin D. So please put your sunscreen and then step out. Half an hour before you're out. So yeah, Monisha, we have only 2 minutes. If we cut the will sell.
So we'll end it now.
So I just want to thank you so much for all the wonderful tips you've given all our followers and patients.
Thank you so
much. I'm
much.
sure
It's my
that
pleasure.
they're so happy. And they can improve their lifestyle and diet.
Definitely. It's my pleasure being here. Thanks for having me. And if anyone has any queries, you can feel free to DM me. and I'll definitely answer your queries either as a post or I'll answer them
Her
in the
page is at Nutrition by Monisha, and you just love seeing her post because I really just love her page.
Thank you
And
so much.
we both are available. If you have any other thing you'd like us to do a session on, any particular skin concern, hair concern, we'll be happy, Monisha, to have you back with us.
Yes, sounds great.
Have a
Lovely
lovely
being with you, Dr. Shaista.
Yeah,
See you.
love
Take
you.
care.
Thank you for everything. Bye-bye, dear. Bye.
Bye.
So that's it. She's gone, and we thank her. It was an excellent session. Even I've learned so much about vegan diets and how I can help my patients who are vegans to have better skin and hair. And thank you everyone once again for joining. Very soon we are going to go ahead with our launch of our face kit, which is working on that in the clinic. And we'll see you again very soon. Have a lovely day. Thank you.